and Darren Wilson did not get indicted, I was brought light to this injustice in America, and I knew I had to do something. So I went to my Black Student Union at my school, and it was one of the first times I actually interacted with the Black Student Union. I was actually scared of the Black Student Union. I didn't know what it was about, but Ms. Jordan, she helped me, understand and said that the Black Student Union is about, advocating for our people. So we organized the Black Lives Matter rally at Mission High School, and we invited all the SFUSD schools, and over 600 students came, and even more other people came. Through that, with my activism, it was a very good turnout. And after that, we developed a 5-point plan that we offered the city of San Francisco to improve the city. And Mark Benioff, the CEO of Salesforce, funded the ideas that we had with $2 million. And after that, at the press conference, when I found out that they were doing that, I thanked the Mayor Ed Lee and CEO Mark Benioff, and I said, "Thank you so much for funding us, Mr. Mark Benioff." He said, "Of course, Hatim, no problem. How would you like to come work at Salesforce?" I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Of course. How about my friends? Can they come too?" And he said, "Of course. Let's set something else, something up." And so this past summer, 46 high school interns were employed at Salesforce. Wow. And I wanted to advance my advocacy and my work in the community. So I applied to the Youth Commission at San Francisco, and in mid-July, I got into the Youth Commission. And I'm advocating for my people there as well as in Mission High School. And with that note, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Now you understand the wisdom behind the NAACP selection of that young man, somebody who gets things done. And it's exciting to know him. And I'm excited because I'm pretty sure that I'll be watching TV one day and I'll be able to tell my granddaughter, "Oh, I know him." I have absolutely no doubt that I will be able to do that at some point. Amen. Amen. Thank you so much. Now, right now, we'd like to bring up another young lady who has been instrumental in working with Hatim and other students at Mission High School. She is a tireless worker within the NAACP. She works at Mission High, but she works with all the high school students. They put together this year an amazing Black College and other college expo with the City Hall that they did one where she'll tell you all about it. Come on, let's give a great round of applause for Miss Linda Martley Jordan. That's her game back there.
Good evening, everyone. It's an honor to receive this award from the NAACP for something that I love to do. It's not a job. Some people have jobs, some people have careers. I get to play with kids every day. And they teach me a lot. And they have ideas. And all they want to do is grow into those ideas. And I've been allowed to work with them. I want to give a shout out first, Mission High School. And then I also have my daughter, Minister Aisha Jordan. Stand up, Aisha. And my son, Joshua Jordan III, present with me today. They allow me to play with the kids. Okay? And then, I've been standing on some really broad shoulders. I've been a part of the San Francisco Alliance of Black School Educators since I started working in the district in 2005. So I know Emily Wade Thompson, Virginia Marshall. I know they're tired because my feet have been on their shoulders. But not just them. Sometimes, excuse me, sometimes when you're just trying to do what's right, you have people like Dr. Brown, Reverend Brown, pulling you and saying, do it. I got you. Do it. God wants you to do it. You can't falter. You can't fall. And if you do, he's calling you saying, why are you laying down? Get up. We got things to do. I'm blessed to have somebody like this in my life that I can look up to. My parents are gone. The majority of my family is gone, except for my children. And this gentleman and his wife have been pillars for me in my late life. Not that late, don't get me wrong. But they have stood with me, and they have supported any ideas or anything that I felt needed to be done. And if I was wrong, they have a way of talking to me and saying, you know what, that might work over there, but that's not going to happen over here. And they do it with love. You can't go wrong when you have support like that. So I'm very honored to be here today to receive this award, and I receive it on behalf of everyone I work with at Mission High School, because without that team at Mission High School, the results we're getting there wouldn't happen without the whole team, not just Miss Jordan. And I'm very happy to say that people like DeAnthony Jones, who's sitting over there, a graduate of Mission High School in Sacramento State, African-American students who are graduating today from Texas Southern University, who graduated from Mission High School, Lincoln University in Pennsylvania. We have kids everywhere. That's all they want to do. And we have to help society realize that that's what we have to do. So Reverend Brown said, let's reenact the Youth Council. San Francisco's Youth Council of the NAACP hasn't been active, and we need to do some things and work with Angela Bagwell, the youth director, work with Reverend Pamela Smith, the youth minister, work with Reverend Baker and his wife Shanae, and make all this happen. Last night we had 30 kids at Third Baptist for the NAACP Youth Council. One of the volunteers is here tonight who works at Janine Tech. And yes, I'm calling you out, Marlena Jackson, please stand. She took time out of her schedule to come and do experiments with the kids last night. There are individuals who want to do this and want to work with our kids, because there's nothing wrong with our kids. Some people say, you know, you work with those kids? And I'm like, yeah. Well, why do those kids? I'm like, because I was one of those kids. And guess what? They're fine. They just need space to grow and develop. You heard Hakeem. You heard Hakeem. He's only one of many who have ideas that they want to develop. So I just want to thank you for this honor tonight. To Seam Parker, there's so many people in here. I know you're tired because I'm standing on your shoulders. I just want to thank you very much for this great honor.
Wonderful. You see, Linda is a gang leader. She got her gang all up in the back. No, I like people who do not travel alone. And she's not traveling alone where those children are concerned. She's bringing them along with her. Amen. Amen. I'm just excited when we start to publicize our good kids and not always the ones who are challenged. Right now, we want to bring the recipient of our Public Service Award up, someone I've known for a long time. I'm excited. All these people are my friends. Sister Sergeant Yolanda Williams of the Officers for Justice.
Good evening. I'm so honored this evening to be a recipient of this prestigious award from the NAACP. I am a child from the civil rights era, and I had the privilege to serve during the last 2 years of my career, because I will be retired in 2 years, as a president of the Officers for Justice, which is and was founded for civil rights, not only for law enforcement, but for our community and our people. And I want to thank, first of all, my mother, Miss Rosemary Williams. Just wave your hand. She's 94. We brought her out here tonight. Also, my niece is here with me, our police commissioner. I have all of the founding fathers of the Officers for Justice here tonight showing their support, and my other colleagues and members of the San Francisco Police Department, including I dragged my lieutenant out here tonight. No, he came willingly. In fact, he insisted he would be here this evening. I just want to say many things have happened this year that those of us who wear this blue uniform and represent this noble profession have had to deal with, things that we never thought we would experience during our careers. And of course, something happened just a few weeks ago. I'm here to say to you that the Officers for Justice embraces reform. Reform begins with each one of us. This past week, I took the pledge to not on my watch, that I will be a responsible police officer and member of this profession, to ensure that we do our best to deliver to our communities the service that they so deserve. I want to thank, too, Dr. Amos Brown. He calls me and he says, "Sister, we got to get on board and do this." And you know, sometimes I wonder, am I really an officer of the law? Am I a community activist? Or am I sister soldier? I think I'm all of that and some. And the other thing that I want to leave you with, because I may not have an opportunity to speak to such a large forum again, is that I'm sorry to end my career within the next 2 years, but I will continue to serve and protect my brothers and sisters because I love you all so much. And my profession has been a successful one because I know one thing that I think is the true secret, and that is I wear this blue uniform, but when it comes off, I'm black, I'm an American, and I'm a female. I'm a minority. But guess what? Looking around this room, I see a bunch of minorities. And the true fact is the minority is really the weighty majority. Power to the people.
Wonderful. And now I'm honored to bring up the recipient of our Professional and Business Award. I think probably to mostly all of you, she doesn't really need an introduction, and we're so excited for her. Give a good welcome to Dr. Mary Ann Jones.
Thank you so much to the NAACP for selecting me as this year's recipient of the Annual Business and Professional Award. I am honored and humbled to be here with you tonight during what has been a very challenging year. My work in this award pays tribute to my mother, Helen Jones, who spent her life trying to ensure equal quality of life for all San Francisco residents, particularly in our neighborhood in the Western Addition. Like my mother, my life's work is focused on providing support for the most vulnerable citizens in our community. It is so important that they be treated with dignity and respect. I have made respect as well as excellence core values at Westside. As a community, we are often mischaracterized as a people unwilling to seek mental health treatment. We are ridiculed and infantilized for not understanding what mental illness is and for refusing to accept mental illness as a permanent condition in our lives. Our experience within mental health systems include a history of misdiagnoses and forced treatment within mental health institutions, hospitals, research clinics, and the criminal justice system. We have been jailed, institutionalized, and forced into abusive treatments, all justified by someone else's analysis of our psychological condition. For these reasons, it is understandable why many in our community reject the idea of mental health treatment, to choose not to give power to people that might judge them and leave them in a condition worse than from when they started. This is what motivated me to change the treatment paradigm available to my community at Westside Community Mental Health Center. At Westside, we recognize that we must define our mental health needs, identify appropriate support, and become aware of the long-term effects of multi-generational oppression. Thank you all for recognizing my work as a member of this community. There is no place else I'd rather be. I also want to thank everyone here who has offered me well wishes during my battle with breast cancer. This is one of the most difficult experiences of my life, to be sure. I stand here before you with my bald head to be an example to other African American women on how to live with vitality in spite of breast cancer. It wasn't a role I sought, but I am committed to being a positive face of breast cancer to show other women that it can be done and to encourage women to get regular screenings. Early detection can be life-saving. Finally, I would like to thank my board of directors and staff, without whom I would not be able to do what I do, as well as my family for their unwavering support and being part of my journey. Thank you very much.
By the way, Dr. Jones, the bald head is working. Okay. You fellas know what I'm talking about. You fellas know. Amen. Now I am excited to present the Lifetime Achievement Award to someone I met many years ago when he hit town as an engineer and I was at WAPAC and our paths crossed. Fred Jordan. Come on, Fred.
I am truly honored to be here in front of the NAACP. I am also humbled to be among all of these distinguished, outstanding honorees, and maybe we should give them another round of applause. They're just absolutely, I'm awed. But I want to tell you a quick little story. When I was a little boy, elementary, just starting elementary, I remember my mother waking me up and saying, "Son, I'll be back in a few hours. The NAACP has called a protest because colored people cannot sit at the counter downtown Washington, D.C." That was the first time I heard about the NAACP. And then when I went to high school, I went to a high school named in Washington, and in the black community, you had black names, for the high schools. And I went to a high school named Spingarn, Joel Spingarn. See, Dr. Du Bois was the co-founder of the NAACP. Spingarn, a white person, was the other co-founder. And I had to find that out, and I was honored. Spingarn produced some of the greatest athletes in this country. Elgin Baylor and Dave Bing and the former mayor of Detroit, and they all have records. And so when I was in school in Boston, and I used to leave my college work and go over and work with the NAACP. And we worked on the first ecumenical center in Roxbury, Boston. And so a couple of weeks ago, I was up in Shanghai, and I got a message, Shanghai, China. I got a message, and the students at Dun Quat University and People's University, two of the top universities in China, had sent a message, said that they wanted me up in Beijing to speak about affirmative action and the struggles of the African American in the United States. And I said, wow, I was awed. So I jumped on the high-speed rail, 1,000 miles, and before I could finish dinner, I was there from the high-speed rail. And I went over, I spoke to them, and they said, what really, I had a great reception. They said, what really motivated you to be the freedom fighter that you call yourself? And I said, the NAACP. And I had to spell it out for them. The National Association of Colored Peoples. And they were awed. And 3 days ago, I got a message that said they wanted to join the struggle. And they have a representative here. Hanson Lee, stand up. Niho Ma. To prove it. And I'm just saying, the message of the NAACP is not just here. It is going around the world. And we shall win. And we shall overcome. And I am so honored to be here. And thank you, Reverend Brown. He is our leader. Even though I work in the business sector, he is still our leader. And it's my pleasure. Thank you.
Now, finally, you'll hear more from him later, but we also wanted to appreciate and give an award to our keynote speaker tonight. Let me just say, I know most of us feel the same way when you saw him walking around out there, shook his hand. It kind of surprised you that you didn't really know him, because I see him every day. And one of the reasons I love the way he presents the news, because it's like one of my partners giving the news, because he talks like we talk. And most importantly, he thinks like we think. He sees like we see things in our community and how we need to see things. And then above all, he is not afraid to tell folk what it is that he sees. And so I'm so appreciative, I almost said, of his ministry, because it really is, Doc. What you do is just not what Tom Brokaw does, though I got nothing against Tom. But what you do is not unlike what other newscasters do. And thank you so much for being here. And y'all just give a great hand of welcome, a great God bless you to Mr. Roland Martin. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tolerating me, and Black Lives Matter. Amen. Black Lives Matter.
Let's give another round of applause to all our honorees. Miss Cassie Cook, Gala co-chair, will now come to acknowledge and thank the sponsors for tonight. Miss Cassie Cook, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening. How are you this evening? I really feel a very sweet spirit in this room tonight. I am a civil rights worker with Dr. Martin Luther King. And when things happen, people come together. And I've been working with the NAACP for several years. But this is the largest delegation that we have had in a long time. And I think it's because all of us colored people know that it is time for change. And for that, I'm grateful. I want to thank everyone in this room for supporting us so this could happen. I especially want to thank Ms. Amelia Ashley Ward, who has been there with us. She said, we are going to do this. And she came in the office and she worked with us on a daily basis. But what we would like to do, like I said, we have not always had this crowd. So we had to rely on our sponsors. Without our sponsors, we could not have kept the dream alive. We could not have supported Reverend Brown as he stood on the line and be a voice for us. We could not have done that. So what we would like to do at this time is to have our sponsors to come up and give us about a minute and a half speech. So first we would like to call Wells Fargo Bank. Is anyone here representing them? Okay. Lennar? Okay. And after Lennar, California Pacific Medical Center. Someone could come up and speak. But I also would like to thank Coca-Cola, Kaiser Permanente, Comcast, and everyone that have supported us in any way possible. So after I have take my seat, we will hear from Lennar, then California Pacific. Thank you.
Good evening. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you to the NAACP for putting on an amazing event this evening. Yes, thank you. My name is Nashi Liu. I'm here on behalf of Lennar Urban and on behalf of LaShawn Walker, who couldn't be here this evening. I just wanted to say that I've been in the Bay Area for a number of years now, and it's a home to me because clearly this is not my first home. But these spaces are so important in the times that we're going through, and it's wonderful to see representation with the Supervisors Board and with everyone in this room here and with an incredible organization that has brought us all here this evening. So in the months that come, in the fights that are coming, thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for having us. Thank you for allowing us to support this evening. And yes, San Francisco is a beautiful place. So thank you all so much.
Good evening. My name is Tony Wagner. I chair the board for Sutter Health Bay Area, which encompasses counties from Lake County down to Santa Cruz County, a total of 10 counties. If you look at the advertisement in the back of your cover, is CPMC, California Pacific Hospital, which is one of our hospitals. Another one of our hospitals, and the administrator of that hospital is here. I'll just stand up a minute, Rich Stevens, and that's St. Luke's Hospital. We are building both of those hospitals here in San Francisco. I want to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of San Francisco, for your patience when we tunneled under Van Ness Avenue between the new hospital and the new medical building. I want to thank my pastor and the president of the NAACP for your untiring work over the years, almost 40 years since you've been here in San Francisco, not only at Third Baptist Church, but for this community. And we at Sutter Health understand that the health of the community is just not your physical or mental health, but it is the civil rights health that is very important And that is why we have continually supported the NAACP Freedom Dinners over the years. Thank you very much.
Let's thank all the sponsors.